Amen. I trust that our hearts were watered by that special music. And at this time, we will go ahead and welcome Brother Trevor to give us our evening's presentation. Be blessed.
Thank you, Sister Alina, and welcome, brethren, to another Sabbath afternoon study. We are very happy to see all of you in the back on the Zoom screen. I can see all of you, maybe not all of you, but I'm very happy to see you and have you part of the meeting along with you brethren that are here physically. Our subject is a strong and healthy people. We are called to be a great people, and along the way, we are to be strong and healthy in order to be great. We have to do our part in this. God will not miraculously do that which He has given us to do. God does not work miracles where He has provided means by which the work may be accomplished. And the work could be the work for the church, the work for the world. It could be the work in our own life, our health, whatever it is. We have to do our part. In one sense, our part is the smallest part, and God's part is the all-important, critical part. But from a human point of view, our part is very large. For many people, it is too large. They cannot do it by themselves. They cannot bring themselves to think about doing these things themselves. And that is why we have the Lord to help us. But it is necessary for us to be a strong and healthy people if we're going to be a great people. Now, we have many blessings from the health reform message that we profess, but we will have even greater blessings as our understanding increases on these things and our profession becomes 100% practice. It is the practicing of our profession that counts. And we need to have, of course, a clear understanding of health reform for today. Our health reform message is quite a bit advanced over Sister White's time. And in fact, our health reform message is quite a bit advanced over Brother Hough's time. That's just the way it is. The understanding truth increases as we get closer to the end. All knowledge increases, but good knowledge increases as well. So there are many things that we need to be doing that we're not doing, and there's some things that we believe that are so, that we believe are so, that aren't so. And it's harder to unlearn wrong things than it is to learn new things. And for many people, it's not very easy to learn new things. And sometimes I get discouraged and impatient, and that's a fault on my side. I'm not going to say, it's all right, you can just do anything you want, and everything will be fine, but it might be. If you want to take that course, you might make it in the end. But it's better, brethren, to do everything the Lord asks us to do willingly, even to forsake wrong ideas and theories and habits and practices and replace them with the things that we need to do. And there's a fair number of things that we're doing that need to be replaced, updated. We won't have an exhaustive coverage of these things, but it's a good review and introduction to some other things that we need to know. Before we go further, let's have a word of prayer. Our Father in heaven, we thank you that we have this privilege to come together on this Sabbath afternoon. We thank you for the restful day that we have had, the quiet time and the time free from our usual cares. And we also thank you in those cases where we were able to meet with our friends, neighbors, church members in a friendly and positive way. That we thank you for all the chances that we've had to make friends and be a blessing to other people today. We pray that the things that we hear today will be things that we are willing to do our part on, that we will understand that the Lord's desire is to see us strong and healthy and a great people as well. We pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. We are called to be a great people. We are called to succeed. We are called to overcome the world. And this is something that we don't fully understand. This is our message. We're reforming to greatness. We are reforming to overcome the world, to prepare ourselves for heaven, for the kingdom. And many people are content to live quiet lives of mediocrity or failure. That cannot be for Davidians. No Davidian can lead a life of mediocrity or failure. We are called to great things. And our message is a great message that contains the step-by-step instruction on how to achieve these things. The Lord has not left us to wonder about these things. But it's not the way we usually think about things. In fact, it may be alien to our basic psychology. Some people like the idea of being weak and constantly failing. And I'm sorry to say that psychology needs to be changed. With the help of the Lord, it does have to be changed. We are called to greatness, and we are called to succeed in all the things that our forebears failed to overcome in. We are called one by one to succeed and to overcome the world in every way that you can list. And God will not miraculously do this. We have to do this part, and this is something that we have not fully understood. There are those who believe that in the twinkling of an eye, at the time of the separation, we will be changed into the people that the Lord has asked us to become. This is not the promise. The promise and the requirement is we must meet the standards now, or we will not get a chance to be in the kingdom. The standards are manifold. They cover every aspect of life because sin has damaged every aspect of our life. Our connection with God has to be reestablished in the way that the Lord intended it to be. In the Garden of Eden, he walked and talked with Adam and Eve. That's something that is distant from most of us. We do have to learn to commune with the Lord. That's what the purpose, the larger purpose of meditation is, prayer and meditation. We have to learn of God's nature. We have to learn to love God properly, and we have to learn to embody that love in our life, in our relationship with everyone else, friends, family, and enemies. And we have to live the life that the Lord has told us to live. He will not help us miraculously do this. He will bless us and He will provide strength. He will help us if we keep our mind on Him and if we ask Him for help. But we have to do our part as always. A lot of time people, what they ask is for the Lord to do everything. Even if they don't say it, that's what they want. And that's not the way it's going to work, or ever has worked. So along the way, we do have to reform our life, the way we live, the way we sleep, the way we eat, the way we work. All of these things are part of our message, part of our reformation. We're talking about our health today, the way we sleep, the way we schedule ourselves, the way we eat, and the way we exercise. Health reform. A large majority of Christians who ever pray for health but never do a thing to correct their erroneous habits are only wasting their breath. This is inspiration from Elijah, and it's absolutely true, brethren. A lot of people are wasting their breath. They pray, but they don't pray in the right way. They don't pray and do. Now, though, or they do a little and they think they have done enough, when what we are required to do is, from our point of view, a lot of things, many, many different things. Now, though, has come the opportune time, the blessed moment, for each to realize that it is an irony to try to convince the Lord that the sinner's body should be made whole, but his laws of health ignored or put aside. You pray for health, but you don't eat right. You pray for health, but you don't sleep right. You pray for health, but you're not exercising right. So what do you think is going to happen? Do you really think the Lord is hearing your prayers regardless of your disobedience, your failure to do your part? You would think then that the Lord is a liar because He has said He will not do anything. He will not answer those prayers. He has promised that, brethren. Just as He has promised to answer the sincere prayer of the qualified prayer, He has also promised not to do those things for us that we should be doing. All Christians should now awake to the realization that praying for health is not their only duty, that they're doing nothing more than praying and nothing more than listening to a preacher is not only making their bodies sick, but also keeping their minds inactive and their souls in darkness of advancing truth. Entering wedge, page 55. That is present truth, health information, brethren. And for everyone who has less than perfect health, which is pretty much everyone, brethren. Everyone who has less than perfect health, we need to understand this and take these things to heart. Now, one of the basic principles to keep in mind as we begin our understanding of what is involved in health reform is the importance of regularity in everything that we do. The body, if it has a chance, is a creature of habit. It would like to do the same thing at the same time, and it does it well when it can do that. When it can expect deep, refreshing sleep at a certain time, it will naturally shift into that sleep. In the morning, if it can naturally expect to feel refreshed, it will be invigorated, energized, ready to do things. The body likes a routine. Now, our life is complicated. We're not in the Garden of Eden, and we don't have the luxury of exact regularity in everything all the time. But to the extent that you have the ability to choose, brethren, and sometimes you have a lot of choice, Choose to be regular in all your habits. It makes a big difference from a health point of view. It also makes a difference from a spiritual point of view, a self-discipline point of view. When you are self-disciplined, you have a certain amount of strength from that. When you are doing the things that you know you should do, you have a blessing from that. You are spiritually blessed from regularity. The importance of regularity in the time of eating and sleeping should not be overlooked. If you're busy on the road, traveling and so on, maybe sometimes you won't be exact to the minute at your dinner time, but you should be as close as possible. And when you are way over, many times it's better not to eat when you're traveling than to eat at an odd time. It is better for your health in a number of different ways, and discipline, self-discipline. But the best thing is to plan things and to arrange things in such a way that you can maintain your schedule. This cannot always be done. If your dinner time happens to be at 12 o'clock or 12:30 and the plane is boarding at 12:30, it's not going to happen exactly like that. But it's possible to either eat a little early or a little bit later and skip the meal if you can't come close at all. Since the work of building up the body takes place during the hours of rest, it is essential, especially in youth, that sleep should be regular and abundant. It is essential for the older people too, whose vitality is not as high as the youth, and they need those regular hours of sleep to replenish their strength and vitality. Are you getting enough sleep? In the Garden of Eden, they didn't have electric lights, in my opinion. They didn't have commuting. They didn't have TV. They didn't have computers and phones with the blue light to keep you alert and awake when you should be getting sleepy. The day and the night was roughly equal in that time. That's a lot of hours of darkness. And we think that we can get by on 6 hours a night, 7 hours a night. Brethren, that's not true. The Lord created us to sleep 8 to 9 to 10 hours. And there you will see different opinions on these things. But if you're in bed 10 hours, you don't get that full 10 hours of sleep unless you're a child, a baby, older baby. The younger one wouldn't get it. But to get 8 hours of sleep takes 9 hours in the bed, basically, of total sleep time. For some people, that is enough. For some people, the optimum amount may be a little less. Most people today in modern life are sleep deprived. That's just a fact that we've become so used to being sleep deprived that we don't even notice it in our society, but it is very, very common. It takes the edge off of our abilities. There's a lot of negative repercussions from not getting enough sleep. Anyway, a regular schedule is very, very important for us, both from a spiritual point of view and from everyday success point of view. It is known that you can get more done when you have a regular schedule. Increase productivity. Increase mental health. Now, this is something that may not immediately be apparent, but studies have shown that it is good for your mental health to have regular habits. It is a powerful sleep medicine. If you always go to bed at a certain time, your body clock gets used to that. Your body clock is called a circadian rhythm, or circadian clock, and it is a real clock in a way. It is used to, most people have a 24-hour clock. Some unfortunate people have a clock that is a little slower or longer naturally. But as much as you can, keep your body clock in line with the local time, 24 hours a day. At the same time every night, go to bed. After a while, the clock locks in on that. And it will lock in on your wake-up time too. And it's very important to try to maintain that as much as possible. You can have a little bit of variation on weekends, but if you sleep in until noon, something is wrong with you, and something is going to be wrong with your circadian clock after you do that a couple of days. Remember that regularity, a regular schedule, a regular time for sleeping, a regular time for rising, it is a fundamental requirement for us. Why? Because of better health and also better productivity. And the fourth point that I want to talk about, and there's more of course, but the fourth point is enhance self-discipline. To be the people that we are called to be, the 144,000, or even to aspire to be one of the 144,000, it requires enhanced self-discipline beyond what we are able to comprehend right now. And learning to follow the schedule exactly in your life, learning to do these things is essential to becoming the people that we are called to be. So even though it might not seem like it, regularity in everything is the basis of our health reform. And you cannot be a health reformer and have irregular hours all the time. Now, as field workers and even as people who travel to work and so on, sometimes there's going to be disruptions. It takes self-discipline, determination to bring yourself back on the schedule. It is required that we do that. Wherever we are, whatever the schedule is, we do need to come back to that. It is possible. It is not possible for people who are weak, people who have not trained themselves to be strong, to exercise willpower, and have developed self-discipline. But if we're going to be a great people wondered at, we're going to be able to do that. Okay, now, there's many surprising health benefits of regular sleep. We kind of know these things in a way. There's a few things that we may not know intuitively. For instance, the fact that sleep promotes heart health and probably has a role in cancer and Alzheimer's disease is not something that is probably intuitive to most of us. But the fact is, sleep has a lot of profound health benefits. It enhances brain function. This is, of course, the first thing we notice when we are sleep deprived. We are not really ourselves. Depending on how bad it is, our level can be as low as someone who is intoxicated by alcohol. This is a known situation. I have actually seen this personally. I had an app once on my phone that tested your reaction time and judgment or whatever. So I did it. This is a few years ago. I did it once or twice, and it told me I was inebriated and I shouldn't drive. Well, I wasn't very happy about that. I erased it. But the point is, this is well understood. This is known. You think you're a health reformer and you haven't drank any alcohol, you do the app and see, and you will get you potentially you can get a low rating to where the app is busy telling you, don't drive, you're impaired. and there are people who go ahead and drive anyway. Who do you think has the accidents? Who is going to be more likely to have the accidents? It's those people to have a strong tendency, the people who are sleep deprived, who are inebriated from a lack of sleep. They're impaired. It's a well understood thing, brethren. So remember that the other side is good sleep over a period of weeks. Now, it didn't used to be understood this way, but it is very clear that it takes weeks to rebuild your sleep debt. Sometimes the brain is actually damaged, and it may take longer than weeks for you to regain your ability to sleep. But it is understood that rebuilding that sleep debt that we have, that ability to sleep and sleep deep, enhances our memory, our logical ability, our ability to think. It's a very, very important thing. We, to be successful, must be highly productive, very skillful in all that we do, cognitively competent, not just to survive, not just to be able to drive the car at the basic level, but to avoid the accidents, to drive skillfully, to think skillfully. It's a requirement, brethren, if we're going to be a successful and great people. Mood regulation. People who are low on sleep have problem with mood regulation. It is also known that they have problem with their willpower. They have problem with temptation. They run experiments on this before. I've mentioned it before. People have less willpower. They have less commitment to morality, to truth-telling, and to adhering to their code of ethics when they are sleep deprived. All these things are covered in the Spirit of Prophecy, but they are also understood by science now. Boost immune function. One of the best ways to avoid colds and flus is not to be sleep deprived. It does boost your immune system, and the opposite is also true. A depleted sleep account will run down your system physically in many different ways, and the immune system is one. Promotes heart health. Now, this is something that is a little surprising maybe to you, but it's understood that sleeping, and I don't remember the number, but I think it's like 5 hours a night, and it's not so hard to get 5 hours a night. Go to bed for 6 hours, and you have 5 hours. If you check it, you will see it runs like that, or maybe even worse. But those who were sleeping 5 hours or so a night had the same cardiovascular risk of people smoking a pack a day of cigarettes. Now that's pretty surprising, and probably you don't believe that right off the bat, but that's the research. And they may modify it. Maybe it was 18 cigarettes a day, or maybe it was 22 cigarettes a day. They may modify it, but the point is, it's like smoking a lot of cigarettes, the damage it does to your health. Now, we may feel righteous that we don't smoke as the other sinners do, but are you getting only 5 hours of sleep a night? Then you are not so righteous when it comes to your sleep. Weight management. Did you know that sleep is one of the best ways to lose weight? As you are sleep deprived, your body secretes cortisol and other hormones, makes you feel hungry all the time, you're under stress, and when you're under stress, you want to eat. It's a natural thing, and so it is a well understood way that people gain weight or have problems losing weight. It's not the only thing, but it's a significant thing. Okay. There's many other benefits here, but we're not going to go into all of them. Supports mental health. Sleep is critical for mental health. It's when the body is put back together, regenerated, but it also is when the mind is put back together and rejuvenated. And deep, restful sleep is a healer of the mind and body. If we believe in present truth, health reform, we will know these things. This is not news to us, and we will have been carefully practicing these things. It is a religious duty. It has many different mood benefits, but overall, we understand that sleep is important, but I don't need that much sleep, brother. I don't need 8 hours. Well, it is the number that is mentioned in the message and the spirit of prophecy and by science. Get a total, real total of 8 hours, maybe 8.5, maybe 9, to get the maximum sleep, and get it one night, and then the next night, and then the next night, and the next night, every night. Not once or twice now and then. So this is the requirement for all who are going to be strong, healthy, successful, great members of the 144,000. There are people who are going to be others with. Some of them, brethren, will not be living others with. And that's because they violated these laws for years and years in some cases. I want to talk about the electromagnetic spectrum in connection with cooking. The electromagnetic spectrum is a way of talking about light, radio waves, microwaves, radiation. They're all the same thing with different wavelengths. They're composed of photons that are both, they're seen today by science as both particles and waves. They're subatomic particles that have no mass or charge. Photons are the smallest possible particles of electromagnetic energy. Well, they are what makes up the electromagnetic spectrum. A spectrum is a continuously changing thing that is basically, it represents the same thing. It changes, but it's the same in a way. And the electromagnetic spectrum, they're all photons who are particles and waves, but the wavelength can be different. So at the lowest end, we have radio waves, AM radio waves that, at 1600 kilohertz. Hertz, by the way, is a frequency measurement back and forth per second. And your AC power moves back and forth 60 times per second. It's 60 hertz. It's not an electromagnetic wave itself, the electricity, but it gives off a field, a radiation in that frequency. So you have your radio waves, you have your microwaves, you have infrared radiation, ultraviolet radiation, X-rays, gamma rays, all part of what is called electromagnetic radiation. They're all the same except for the frequency. They're not the same in their effects. Some things bounce off of some things penetrate some things, because of the wavelengths are different, the frequencies are different, they have different properties, but they are all composed of photons, and they have that dual nature of being a particle and a wave. So light is part of the electromagnetic spectrum. When you feel the sunshine on you, you are being radiated by the sun. The infrared part of the light carries a lot of heat. When your oven element comes on and you see that red glow, or your stovetop comes on and you see that red glow, that is infrared radiation that is being produced. And that radiation is how you cook your food, that infrared radiation. Coming down from there in wavelengths, we have microwave radiation in between radio waves, regular radio waves, and infrared radiation. It is a non-ionizing radiation. That means that it is able to warm up or vibrate molecules, but it doesn't break the electrons free. Ionizing radiation actually is so strong that it can break electrons free from their orbit around the atoms, and those electrons and atoms become ionized. They're very dangerous. They're damaging to your body in a number of different ways. The radiation that is ionizing begins at the ultraviolet level and then goes on to X-rays, gamma rays, and so on. Now, I want to talk about microwaves. We have a misunderstanding about microwave cooking. It is very common, and I recently had that understanding refreshed to me, and it is necessary for you to understand that microwave radiation is not ionizing radiation. It's all radiation, brother. Yes, so is sunlight. But it's not a dangerous radiation in the sense that we think of radiation. Microwave radiation can't alter the chemical makeup of your food as X-rays and gamma rays and even ultraviolet rays can. This means that there's no harm in using your microwave and eating food cooked by it. The variety of microwave oven uses, the variety of microwave oven uses are helpful when making quick meals. That's an awkward sentence from WebMD, but the microwaves are very helpful for quick, fast, efficient cooking. But there's other benefits to microwave cooking. They actually conserve the vitamins and nutrients in your food a little better than regular cooking. From plantbasedcooking.com, here's a reader comment. Hello, I'm astounded that you suggest a microwave option. It is a well-known fact that microwaving not only totally destroys the nutrients and very much worse causes many adverse health effects. Please, this is constructive criticism. Do check on all the facts. However, I am looking forward to many of your recipes as long as microwave cooking or heating is not involved. Regards. Brethren, do you know that it's a well-known fact that microwaving totally destroys the nutrients? Do you know that? Well, I don't know it. It's wrong. And it is a mistake for us to have wrong information in our mental repertoire of facts. We can't do that. Do not be deceived. This is a continuation of that article from plantbasedcooking.com, easy to go to. Dr. Michael Greger, nutritionfacts.org, famous for his analysis of nutrition research, writes that vegetables cooked in the microwave retain their antioxidant power significantly above those boiled or fried. Surprisingly, microwave vegetables kept their healthy properties over their steamed or pressure cooker cooked counterparts as well. It's healthier, brethren. Now, is it going to change your life to eat microwave food? No. It's not going to hurt you, and it's not going to totally revitalize you either. But the idea that microwave food is bad is not so. Everyone knows it, right? But it's wrong. It is a type of electromagnetic radiation that is able to particularly heat water molecules. If you put something in the microwave that doesn't have water in it, what happens? Nothing. If it's metal, it will cause an arcing, electrical arcing. But if it doesn't have water, hydrogen molecules in it, it won't resonate with the microwaves. The microwaves it is transparent, as it were, and they just pass through it, or it's reflective and they just bounce back. But if it has water in it, it's good to go. The microwaves will start vibrating those water molecules, not to the level of ionizing it, but to the level of heating it nicely and safely and quickly and cooking your food. This is just the reality. It is necessary for us to be up-to-date health reformers, able to understand and what the truth, the reality of things, and move with those things. And some of us may not be able to do that, and we don't want you to be left behind on anything, but we want to have a big tent too for those people who are not able to come along all the way. So let's be tolerant of everyone, said Brother Trevor, reminding himself. Okay, so microwave, very beneficial to you because of time. You don't have time to be spending in the kitchen if you're in the work. You think you might have, you think you might live your life like everyone else, but if you're going to really be operate on the highest level, the most dedicated level, you don't have time to be in the kitchen cooking all day, half the day, anytime really. As we get automated cooking, it will be a big, a wonderful thing. Your household robot, your kitchen robot will cook your food. And if you want him to potter around all day cooking something, he will be able to do that too. But for now, you can cook your food in the pressure cooker, Instapot, and microwave very quickly and also wholesomely. It is a good, wholesome way. And everyone knows differently. Well, I'm sorry about those people who do know, because they know what is not so. I have looked at several scientific studies, and I have them on my computer, that show the feeding experiments with microwave food. And there was no effect. It was not harmful. It was just food. So, brethren, do not be deceived on this issue. If you have problems about it, take it easy. Your mind will eventually encompass the facts if you let yourself have a go at it. And if you can't, if you're going to hold on to mistaken understandings, this will be an opportunity for Brother Trevor to be kind and patient with you too, okay? Because I do tend to become impatient with people who are like, don't you see? But not everybody can see at the same time. And it takes time sometimes, okay? So take your time, brethren. You have all the time in the world until all the time in the world runs out. Okay, in our diet, we need to choose foods wisely. This is a fundamental requirement. In the old days, it was not so hard. Brown flour, brown sugar, and whatever. If it was brown, it was okay. But it's more complicated today. It is necessary that every health reform Davidian understand all the basics of health reform information that we're presenting here. You do need to understand it. It's not beyond you. If it is beyond you, then a lot of things that should not be beyond you will be beyond you. Understanding the basic laws of health and nutrition are not beyond any normal person. They're not what you're taught. You're not taught those things in school. You have to learn it now, and you think it's a hard imposition, but you do need to know these things, brethren. Choose whole foods over processed. This is a basic health reform rule. Now, you like processed foods. You're used to processed food. You don't know how to live without processed foods. I understand that, but it's a standard to eat the unprocessed foods as much as you can. Start and continue to increase. Consume whole food, such as fruits and vegetables, whole grains and nuts, proteins. Whole foods are richer in essential nutrients and fiber and often contain fewer added sugars, fats, and sodium. Okay? That ultra should be avoid ultra-processed foods. It is very harmful to your health. Number 2, eat a balance of starch, protein, fat, and vitamin-rich colored vegetables and fruits. Now, a lot of people think they must have fruits to be healthy. That's not so. You can do fine without fruits, fresh fruit. If you eat according to what's in season in the United States and Canada, you will find that there are no fruits in season in the United States and Canada in the winter at a certain time. Fruits don't grow here in the winter. There are some things like apples that will store for a while, and so in one sense, apples are in season, and a few other things. But basically, it was possible and healthy, and it still is possible and healthy to eat without eating a lot of fruits. But you think you must have fruits. Brother Hadaf had this issue with people in the early days. The fruits can be fine, but why do people like fruits? Because they're sweet. It's easy to like things that taste good and make up important reasons why you must have them every day. However, there are fruits that are good for you. If they're strongly sour or bitter, they're good for you, very likely. Are those the fruits you want? Those are the fruits that are good for you. Deep green, red, purple, or yellow vegetables are often extra high in phytonutrients. Learn the constituents of your food. Every food that you put in your mouth, you need to understand what's in it. This is a religious requirement for health reformers. You need to know the calories, the fat, the protein, and the main phytonutrients, the main vitamins, and so on. If you don't, if it's all a mystery to you what you're about to put in your mouth, you are not at the level of current present truth health reform. Learn food by food. It is your responsibility. Nobody has to spoon feed you in the real world. It's nobody's job to spoon feed you knowledge. You can look on the label. You can look it up in a book or in Google. But everything you eat, you need to know the portion size, how much calories, how much protein, roughly, because cooking methods will change things. For instance, your beans. You know that it has 8 grams of protein a cup, but if your cup is mostly water or gravy, maybe it's not quite that much protein. or maybe they're a high protein bean and they're even more. But you need to know these things to an approximate degree. If you don't, you're not doing all you can do to maintain your health. You're just kind of sailing blindly through your life, eating things without knowing if they're really good for you or not. Well, I heard, everybody knows, I saw this on YouTube, and so on, is not enough. It is, you have to know the information. Healthy fats are essential. Did you know that? Some people think they're not, and that's a mistake. We do have to move on from that misunderstanding. Monosaturated and polyunsaturated fats found in olive oil, avocados, nuts, seeds, and fish oil are beneficial for heart health in moderation. The polyunsaturated fats, once thought to be so wonderful, are wonderful in small amounts and actually health damaging in large amounts. And that's why something like olive oil, for instance, that is limited in polyunsaturated fat is actually good for you too. It doesn't have too much unsaturated fats, polyunsaturated fats. Understand these things. Understand omega-3s, omega-6 fatty acids. Learn about it. Memorize it. Remember it. It is a requirement that you know these things. How are you going to help other people, let alone yourself, if you don't know these things? You'll be a victim of the last YouTube video that you saw if you don't know these things yourself. Number 4, limit sugars. High intake of added sugars can lead to a plethora of health issues. And understand this. Understand the conditions that they cause, that sugar causes. Now, you may make a distinction in your mind between natural sugar and white sugar, but the body doesn't. The body does not make a distinction between the sources of the sugar. It does make some distinctions between types of sugar, but you get a lot of fructose or sucrose from any source, and it's unhealthful. It doesn't matter what the source is. If you get more than you should get, it is unhealthful. They had, I think it was when we were leaving the Philippines, they had in the airport, they had a cane juice machine. And was it Philippines or Haiti? You remember? There was an indulgence after the hardships, the rigors of the field trip. I had a glass of that cane juice. It was delicious. It was good. But do you know what it was sweetened with? Sugar. Just sugar. Natural sugar. They didn't put anything in it, but it's sugar. And if you were to drink that heavily day after day, you would be getting a lot of sugar in your diet. The body does not make a distinction in that case where that sugar came from. Okay, so understand the sugar content of your food. Some sugar is worse than others. Too much fructose is very bad. Too much sucrose is very bad. Some other sugars are less dangerous, and a few are worse. Number 5, eat starch in moderation. And we eat starch in moderation for the same reason we eat sugar in moderation. Starch is carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are, you ever heard complex carbohydrates? It is sugar molecules joined together in long chains, and they, instead of being perceived as sugar, we taste it as starch, carbohydrates, potatoes, yams, whatever. What happens to carbohydrates, by and large, when it hits the stomach, is that we have these enzymes that literally almost instantaneously chop the carbohydrates back into sugar molecules. Carbohydrates, white starch, cassava, breadfruit, yams, plantain, all these high starch containing food are high sugar-inducing foods in your blood. They raise your blood sugar very quickly. Why? Because as soon as they hit the stomach, they basically turn into sugar. Now, there's some other complexities here that modify this slightly. Some carbohydrates don't convert quite so fast because they have fiber connected with them, they have fat connected with them in the cooking, whatever. They can be a little slower to digest, but in the end, every carbohydrate is digested into sugar. Every carbohydrate, every gram of carbohydrate that you take in is turned into sugar. With a very tiny exception with resistant starch. Resistant starch, it can be so resistant to digestion that it never turns into sugar. It's fermented in the digestive system. But that is a small exception. Get enough fiber. A high fiber diet is associated with numerous health benefits. And this is one of the problems with processed food. Processed food has been processed to reduce the fiber. In one step, they always reduce the fiber. Moving on, number 7, micronutrients matter. Vitamins and minerals, although needed in small amounts, are crucial to the body's processes. You need to get enough vitamins and minerals. Too much is not going to help, but too little will be harmful to your health in many, many different ways, profound ways. Okay. I wanted to talk very briefly, and we're not going to go over this list in detail, but I wanted to talk about ultra-processed food. It is known that ultra-processed food is very unhealthy. The world knows it. I hope that each one of you listening to me also knows it. This is something that is well known in the world, in nutritional health circles. Now, if you're eating ultra-processed food, you are not eating according to either the Edenic standard or the modern health reform standard. You're not even eating according to the World Health Standard. They understand that processed food is harmful, ultra-processed food. What is ultra-processed food? Vegetarian and frozen meat, meat substitutes. All of this stuff is ultra-processed. Google the ultra-processed food health effects. Look and see packaged cookies and snacks, instant noodles, canned soups, sugary breakfast cereals, microwave popcorn, very unhealthful. Not because exactly of the microwaves, but because of the chemicals they put into the butter flavoring and so on. Prepackaged salads with dressings. Energy bars. Did you know that energy bars can be bad? Well, we thought it was just a healthy granola energy bar. It might be, but it's probably ultra-processed. Processed cheese products. Includes vegetarian options. You thought you were doing good with a processed vegetarian cheese product, but it's ultra-processed food. It's not wholesome. flavored non-dairy milks. No non-dairy creamer substitute ever should be considered. Vegetarian frozen desserts, instant puddings and jellies, vegetarian fast foods, packaged breads and buns. Now, I believe that these packaged bread that we buy in the store are ultra-processed. It's not something I specifically looked into, but it's something that I believe, and I've been reducing my intake of store-bought bread very significantly, and crackers as well. Pre-made pie crusts, artificial sweeteners and creamers, vegetarian pizza, frozen or takeaway, often with processed toppings, high sodium content, and refined flour crust. The reasons that ultra-processed foods are bad are more than just high sodium content and sugar and so on. Sometimes the proteins are denatured, the fats are damaged, even the starch can be caramelized. Something called advanced age AGE. Well, I'm not going to get the full name, but there are chemicals that can be created in the starch, in the carbohydrate, that are unhealthful. So there's many reasons that ultra-processed food is, we should avoid it. Now, you like ultra-processed food, it's meant to be addictive to your taste. They put a lot of sugar, a lot of salt, a lot of fat, whatever, in it to make it taste good. They are able to design food that is addictive to you, and you want to go back and buy it. The secret to overcoming here, besides developing willpower in general, which is a fundamental skill, but the secret is stay away from it. I heard this some years ago, and it was like, wow, that's an excellent idea. It's very simple and obvious, I know, but it's still, don't bring it in your house. If you don't have it, you can't get it, and it reduces the amount of exposure you have to the temptation. The next step, by the way, is what you do after that, by the way, at least in my experience, is you go to town and you splurge. You get a treat, okay? So the next step is to reduce that and exercise willpower and be able to go to town and not splurge, not get a treat, come back with nothing, and you're off and running at that point, okay? But it's necessary to do these things, brethren. Go and pray for your health, go and pray for your condition and so on, and don't do these things. What's going to happen? You think that the Lord is joking about these things? He will save your soul, but he's not going to work a miracle to save your body, save your health, when you are not doing your part. And he won't save your soul if it's presumptuous over many, many years and you never tried to do better. Exercise. This is the closing, next to the last thought here. Walking is one of the best exercises. You're not going to be a health reformed Davidian if you don't exercise, if you don't work every day, except possibly Sabbath day, but you don't work on your strength, your aerobic capacity, your balance, or your stretching. Every day you have to do this deliberately. This is a requirement. You're not going to have the physical abilities. And you say, I'm getting old. It's just the way I am. I'm naturally like this. No, you're not. We've probably seen the videos of older folk. I mentioned this before, a lady that was in her 90s, if not older, lifting more weight than I can lift, and almost everybody here in the room can lift. Okay? Yes, she did. And it is possible for us to maintain our health and strength to an advanced age if we take care of ourselves. But if you feel like you can let yourself go in your middle age, just let yourself go. Never exercise, never stretch, never tax your balance with balance exercises and so on. You're going to fall apart, and you're going to, Lord, why is all these things happening to me? Because we don't do our part. We don't care to do it. And this is a type of laziness, brethren, that will not be forgiven us. We want the Lord to do it for us. He's not going to do these things for us. He requires us to do our part. Now, this is talking about females, but you know, it's not, while she was addressing females, it concerns everybody. Females neglect to exercise their limbs in walking. Many who are very feeble can walk if they will only think so, and if they will walk a little bit today and a little bit more tomorrow, they will regain some of their ability to walk. In some cases, they could regain all their ability. Many who are very feeble can walk if they only think so. They have not the disposition, and you will hear them plead, "Oh, I cannot walk. It puts me out of breath. I have a pain in my side, a pain in my back." Try to walk moderately at first. Walk, yes, walk. If you possibly can, walk. Now, if you can't walk very much, walk moderately, like she says here, and walk a little bit more. If you can walk already, and you have to walk in your daily life, how should you walk? Should you walk dawdling and slow? Your chance to walk is a chance to exercise. You don't need to have a special time for walking. If you have a walk to work or a walk during work or whenever, that's part of your exercise. You need, for optimum health, most people need at least 10,000 steps a day. Those steps need to be vigorous. They need to be strong. They need to be great steps. If you just want to dawdle along casually, that's the kind of person you're going to be in your life. You say, "Oh no, I'm a very vigorous Christian. I just walk slow, take my time," and so on. But you can enjoy nature walking at a brisk walk, as well as walking slow and laggardly. So the real Davidian walks like David would walk. David was not a weak person. He was not a person to dawdle along. He could move. He was strong. We have to be strong, brethren, in everything. If you're walking, praise the Lord. It's a good opportunity for exercise. Walk with great determination and strength and vigor. It is a blessing from God to be able to walk. And the more you walk now, the stronger you will be in your advanced years. And that means for everyone, brethren. Doesn't matter how old you are, you're going to advance in years, hopefully, and you need to be walking now so that you will preserve your strength for that time. Okay, this is our closing thought. Many have expected that God would keep them from sickness merely because they have asked him to do so. But God did not regard their prayers because their faith was not made perfect by works. God will not work a miracle to keep those from sickness who have no care for themselves, but are continually violating the laws of health, buying processed food, eating sugar, eating unbalanced amount of carbohydrates, and not enough protein, maybe no fat, maybe no vegetables in their diet. Well, you want to violate the laws of health and then you ask the Lord for help, or you want to be too busy, too indifferent to sleep, too indifferent to exercise, and you violate the laws of health and make no efforts to prevent disease. When we do all we can on our part to have health, then we may expect that the blessed results will follow. And we can ask God in faith to bless our efforts for the preservation of health. He will then answer our prayer if his name can be glorified thereby. But let all understand that they have a work to do. God will not work in a miraculous manner to preserve the health of persons who are taking a sure course to make themselves sick by their careless inattention to the laws of health. You will need to understand the laws of health, understand the nutritional value of your food, understand the requirements of your situation. Every individual should be getting at least a gram of protein per kilogram of weight. If you weigh 50 kilograms, you should get roughly 50 grams of protein. If you're very active, and this is for people who are inactive and don't hardly exercise, if you're very active, as you should be, the requirement goes up to 1.2 grams of protein per kilogram of weight. You should get the right kind of fat. You should get the right kind of vegetables and fruits in your diet. The fruits that are white, sweet, bland, those are okay. They have some value. But the ones that taste very sour, very bitter, some other astringent taste, those are the ones that are best for you. People naturally like fruits that are sweet. Plant scientists have artificially bred fruits to be sweet now. It wasn't so in the beginning. But now you like fruits because they're especially sweet. And this is what they've made them to be like. They didn't increase their nutritional value. They increased their taste appeal to you. But at any rate, there is much good food, fruits, vegetables, and other things. Eat a balanced amount. Do the exercise that you are supposed to do every day. Health reform is a very active reform. It's a lot more than what you thought it was. It's a lot more than being afraid of microwaves, eating brown flour, which is wholesome, but not the end-all, be-all of health reform. It is not getting rid of the white sugar and replacing it one-for-one with brown sugar. Okay? Once upon a time, we had health reformers who thought they could eat brown sugar in abundance. That is the same exact thing as eating white sugar. No difference, no benefit. Just more harm because you thought it was good for you. So you need to have knowledge, you need to understand these things, and you need to do it. And as you do it, as you have a regular life, a regular sleep time, a regular wake time in every activity, as we do these things that the Lord has called us to do, we will be blessed. And we will be not only be blessed according to the world's understanding of all these things, which they think it's good. They believe this. The health authorities of the world will tell you that there are many other reasons I didn't dwell on why ultra-processed food is bad for you. They know this. And as we do these things, we will have the health benefits that they talk about, but we will have spiritual health benefits and blessings beyond this, brethren. And that is when the Lord can bless us, and he will bless us and answer our prayer. So I hope that we will all move forward to this higher level. It is a deciding point, I hope, for everyone. Move forward, change, drop the processed food, drop the irregular habits and hours. Be the people that he has called us to be, strong, healthy, and a great people. Thank you, brethren. God bless you all.